At least I started the recording. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. There was one with like I think it was like the 2x plus 7 and then the 10x like over 8.
I think I need the
That one I was
grade Excel file. Let's see if I can have it. Canton.
I got like 1.
So programming.
So I've got a question before we get into all of this. So I know that we had talked about going over practice five and homework five today because Jason and I were having issues. And I know that we're only now doing the Excel for the homework and practice that are due today at Wrightspace. When is everything actually due? Is everything due to
Practice 5.
yeah, so practice five and homework five. When is that going to start?
Today's Wednesday. What is the date I have to?
It was last Wednesday.
So yeah, by today can you start submitting?
I can definitely try.
By end of this week?
That's the one we
That
were
was the
having
one we
trouble
were all
with.
yeah, we were all
Still,
that was the user function one?
Yes, the user defined function.
yeah,
Use that
we're
one
all
this week.
still a little bit lost on that.
If we have time to go over it
Yeah, we
today,
do. Yeah, I
I
do.
think I got better on it on the exam, but I still wasn't like 100%
Okay.
on it.
All right. I mean, I can kind of address individual question now if you have any question. And I guess that's the first thing I'm gonna do before we begin the class because I don't have that much for today's class. All I'm doing like today is importing data from the Excel. There's an Excel file that I have called grades, right? And then we'll use that to import the data in different columns data, right? And then we're gonna do some manipulation. We're gonna create another Excel file. That's another thing. That's the main agenda for today's class, okay? And that wouldn't be taking more than 10 to 20 minutes or whatever. But what's the question concern?
so if the homework 6 and practice 6 are one, which is the Excel work,
Yeah.
that's also due today?
No.
Or will that be
No. Did I upload them? The Excel one?
That's
If I've uploaded them, that's not due until next week. Next week, Wednesday. Put it like week from today. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah. I didn't even cover that. Like you know.
Yeah,
that was a concern.
Yeah. No. If I don't cover it, don't bother. Okay. Yeah. It was like planned to finish it before the midterm. And I couldn't finish the Excel part before the midterm. Remember,
Yeah.
I only had like up to FPTF. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I could have finished it, then it could have due like ideally, but obviously we'll be learning it today, so that's not due for sure. That's about the 6, right?
Yeah.
So about 5. You said you guys have question, right?
Yeah, can I use like the one on the test as an example?
Huh?
Can I use this one as an example?
Yeah.
Like, on the
Perfect.
test.
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull it
I
up.
do have the solution manual for this one if you'd like to see the solution manual here.
Yeah.
Now that you're done with the exam.
That's okay.
Oh.
I forgot to give that to you. I emailed it to you.
So I'll keep it. None of you submitted that, but all of you put it like in accepting it, like you didn't put it in
I gave you the paper
I
one.
didn't put
You
it in
did give me the paper one?
Yeah.
I also need it.
Also the everything's in the room then.
Yeah, I gave you the paper.
Alright.
These were extras for Cody and
Oh, okay. So let me see. Where is my solution
I
manual?
realized I still had it, and I was like, oh crap.
That's problematic.
Yeah, I'm like, I was supposed to get this in.
But you guys didn't put the answer on the .m file, right?
No, I put my answers on there.
Yep, same here.
You put just this paper copy, not in .m file, right? Okay.
All of my short answers are in the .m file.
Okay. All right. Let me see. Where is my solution manual? Just one second.
What's wrong with me?
It's just a random function we did.
Okay, bud. Okay, bud. Relax.
over the practice problems for practice 5, or at least a couple of them?
Yeah, yeah, sure. We'll do. Just one second. I'm just trying to see. It's over the years. I have so many exams, so many solutions. Which one? So this one for sure. Alright, so I do have the solution manual, and let me go here. First, you'd like to see the quotient though, right? So Canton, let me open up the quotient as well. So programming for engineers. Alright, content, exam 1. Alright, so these are the questions. So the solution manual, I'm gonna upload it, right? Do you guys want any of the, or do you guys want me to go through all of them?
The test?
So I don't know.
I just wanted to see the last one.
The last one only?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with the last one. Okay, where the question is. Okay.
Function on the last one.
So this is the last one. Okay, what is the last question? Let's try to open this one first. Here. So the last question is, wait for it. All right. So you have a given function mathematical expression given a y polynomial equation where y equal to 2x cube plus x minus 3x to the power 1/4. Create a MATLAB function. Actually, you got to do a octave function. It's the same thing. To evaluate it for a range of x value from x at 0 incrementally 0.1 to ending 10. So this is, so you guys can see the answer as well, right? Let me see if I can make it kind of this on the side. Okay, you guys see that? So this is the first thing that is asking here, up to this. So create a function. You guys understand? Everybody's good? Creating a function with a 0.1 interval, right? Everybody's good? Okay, perfect.
So where you put the right below that where it says y1 equals y1 function, is that's your function that you're calling?
Yeah, y1 function, that's the function. I'm coming to that. Just let me finish. So that's the first thing. So make sure to give a function a meaningful name associated with what it represents. The function will have to be created in a different script from the code calling it. Okay, so now it's coming to that, Ben, what you're saying, like y1 function. Okay, so that's the y1 function, and it's a meaningful name because it's y, and then I thought I had it open. Then this function, right? So let's talk about it a little bit, and then I'm going to go to the function itself. So you do have this y1, which could be anything. You can say answer 1, okay, but here it is important. Like you're calling that function, that is y function, y1 function, and you are putting x1 in the argument, and you have this matrix of x1 here defined already. You understand? Everybody did it this way? I haven't opened the user defined function yet. Okay, I'm opening it now. Okay, up to this everybody understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So then this is the y1 function, right? Yeah, and this function needs to be in the same location. Let me try to make it a little bigger. All right. So again, the way you can do it, it needs to start with the function itself. That's what you're seeing, right? The function, and then this y1, and this y1 here. That what you are seeing. Usually, you might have seen it like putting a bracket, right? You want to put a bracket for array. How many answers here? 1, right? Just why you are not putting a bracket, right? You can put a bracket and put the y1 inside it, no harm. But if you have multiple answers, you want to put a bracket, right? And put like, all of them with a space, one after another, to get multiple answers. For here, it's y1 this way, equal this y1 function. Remember, the function name we said y1. And then we have an argument here, x. Now, instead of x, this could be anything. It could be your name, Ben. It could be Jason. It could be Ethan. You understand what I'm trying to say? It doesn't matter what is this x. But if you name it to Ben instead of x, let me highlight that. If you name it to Ben instead of x, you must have to make sure everywhere you have x is Ben. Okay? Everywhere you have x, if you name it to Jason, everywhere it needs to be Jason. Okay? You understand? So yeah, that's the trick. Now again, these x here and the main function, which is, I don't know, for whatever reason I'm not seeing that. I have to, just 1 second. Where is my octave? Okay, so yeah, so I'll come back to that. So you see, this x1 here, and on the user defined function, the x I have, that could be same, that could be different, doesn't matter. That's something we learned as well, right? This x1 here in the main function, where the user defined function had x, remember? It could be same, that could be x1 as well, doesn't matter really. Okay? But the main important thing here in the main function, that you are calling this y1 function. Whatever is in the argument, that goes with the main function variable that you define, in this case x1, which you defined it like 0 through 10 with the interval of 0.1. Make sense? Now that you are dealing with the main function, you must have to be consistent with the argument with the main function variable, which is x1. Now when you are going to the user defined function, you just have to make sure the y1 function and y1 function matches. The argument on the user defined function doesn't need to be matched. If it confuses you too much, you keep the same argument here and there. Why it could be different? Because you may write a function, user defined function, which could be so generalized, you may use it every day in so many different applications. That's why it is different. That's why it could be different. That's why we try to write it different so you don't get confused in real life application, okay? But if it confuses you, just put x1 here and there, doesn't matter really. Okay, now I'll come back to the where else? Oh, here, right? So this y1 function. As the only thing here is to understand, you see the output is y1 in your case. So you put the y1 here equal, you just wrote the function name. Whatever the function is there, only catch here. So you just have to make sure if it is x, this is x. If this is x1, and this dot must needs to be here before the power sign, because we are dealing here a matrix. We have learned it before several times, right? Any question?
Yes. So where it says function up there right next to that, your input, does that have to match what you have on your main code?
The y1 that you are saying?
Yeah.
The y1, that doesn't need to be matched. Nothing here
does need to be matched. Why? Because this y1 here as the answer, okay, and in the main function you have, like, you have this y1 came up here, okay, you would define that as a variable here. Does it make sense? That doesn't need to be matched either. Only thing that tied up those two things is the function name. That is the y1 function. Just like in default function, remember you use the sine function, use the square root function as QRT. Okay, did you really go to that function definition and see how they write that function? No, you just use like sine and then in the parentheses whatever your variable you're putting in, just the same way you should work for this case. Okay, try to relate that, then it will be much more easier. Only thing is to be matched again, the function name, nothing else. But you don't expect to get two results from this function when you define the function to get you one result only. The same thing is true when you're defining, say, like the quadratic function. How many results you have? Two. Answer one, answer two. Remember that?
Yeah, I don't know how to make it give you two results though.
And in quadratic function, remember you have two equations. Answer one, you define answer one equal to minus b plus
Oh,
square
yeah,
root. Yeah. So in that case, you have two answers. So your output should be two answers. Now in the main function here, if you are trying to get one answer from the function which is giving you two answers, then there is anomaly. Okay? Because you know quadratic function is going to give you two results, and you are trying to explore one result. You can, but ultimately it is going to give you two results. It does have two results as output. Any question?
I think that made it a little clearer now. I understand what I missed up.
Any question with the homework or practice that you guys are suggesting before? With homework number 5 or practice number 5?
I mean, that kind of cleared up what I was.
Now you can deal with that.
a little
Now,
bit.
Jason, you're feeling confident?
Doesn't clear up what I think we have. I'm having an issue currently.
Which one?
It's showing a weird error message. So when I'm going to run the entire code, I've turned off the plotting because the plotting is just not working. It's saying invalid parameter 0.3 on one file sine.m. The only time it can call it sine.m is here. And I have a sine.m function, but it's not being called anywhere in this file. And the only thing it is could be called is this. Unless I'm doing something with
Pause everything and open just that thing.
just sine motion, or
No, I mean, pause everything. I mean, it seems like too much thing going on here. Close everything. Everything. Just open the main function and
literally just main code.
yeah, and then in the command window type clc clear, close all everything. You'd like to refresh the memory. Clear. So now you are starting from the blank and see. You first try to run it, and then you notice some problem happening. Okay, so the sign dot have finding somewhere. Very well.
This was one of the issues.
Domi 100 is here. So it's trying to explore the sign function somewhere.
The only place I have a thing called sine is
Good. I can see that. Go back. Yeah, here. So it's trying to open this sign.
well,
The
this
reason
is
is
sine function.
no, I know. Oh, yeah. So you keep the sign function in the same location, right? And you're trying to open this sign function?
Yeah, trying.
No, you are not. This is sign func. This is sign. So see, this folder is here. This folder needs to be on that place. So it's just trying to pull it. So this sign func, where to save it?
I just downloaded it from the other computer, so I haven't.
Okay, so
saved it.
you
It's
gotta
just
save it to
files.
the same location where this thing is. Where this thing is.
It's also in that downloaded folder.
So yeah, so these two needs to be on the same place when you are trying to run them, okay? And this needs to be changed to that folder. This is the current folder that you have, right?
So it needs to be changed. So where those both of them are here? Where are those?
So they're down over there.
Here? Here, both of them are here now.
Yeah, they're in this octave practice 5.
Okay, they're here.
Yep, so they're both.
Here, both here. Confirm. So now it should be running. If both of them are in the same place, at least it is running now. It is not
Yeah.
giving you the same problem. Okay. So now you gotta address the other issues. Jason, you have any question?
Could we just do like a couple of these as an example?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so
Like specifically this one?
yeah, you just have to use the expansion, EXP. That you got a name.
Oh, is that?
It's got look up the screen here.
Yeah, you
Wait,
just have to
what's
write
an
it.
actual function?
Okay, let's try to help you on that.
Oh, yeah, 'cause it's exponential. Yeah, EXP is the exponential.
All right. So
In which one? What is the exponential?
so let's just do one of them, okay, Jason? So week 5. All right, Jason. So which one you are trying to do that?
1C.
1C. This one, right? Let me try to open this thing a little big. Okay, so you have this y3. Let's assume that's your output. This exponential over x. That's the function name you're defining. Now you don't have to be that critical. You can write simply expx, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter, whatever, or 1c. And then this x, right? You got to define this x here. That is says the x value should be 0 to 10 with interval of 0.1. So you define it, right? Any question with so far? And this is the plotting. You don't care about that for now, okay? But this exponential over x, let's try to open this function. I hope I had it here. Yep. So that's my function. Do you see? So just like before, as I said, it doesn't need to be matched, but I'm matching it just for simplicity, y3, because it's just one output. Exponential over x, that must needs to be matched exactly. That can be a capital letter at all, right? Starting, okay. And then this x is an argument, and again it can be changed to whatever. I said like it could be Jason or Ben or Ethan. And then y3, this is where it is like x, exp, exponential, that's the function you're using. 1 over x. Now whenever you have the power or divide sign, you must need to put a dot because you are dealing with a matrix. X is a matrix, okay? And that's it, and then end this. So remember, it starts with the function and it's end with the end, right? Start with function, and with the end, okay? Another question?
Yeah.
Which one?
Any of them and number 3.
Ben, you're good. You have any question with the homework or practice?
Not after that, but I also kind of get it now because of the what you showed in the test. That was what I was trying to
Okay.
figure out.
Now it clear up
Just
everything?
calling the function was my problem.
Okay.
I kept having mismatched things, and it was kind of confusing me. So.
Okay. I hope it's clear now, right, to everyone? All right. So practice solution. After you're done, I can share this with you guys. Okay. After the summation. What did you say? Any of number 3, right?
This is the answers to the practice,
Yeah, these are the I can share this thing with you
if
guys.
that's okay, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, I do have all the answers. Uh, I mean, usually you guys have everything, okay? So that's why I don't share the answer. But now that this one is difficult, I can share everything here, whatever I have. So which one, Jason? Maybe this one, B, I guess. All right. So the B does have this equation, right? A multiplied B to the power C, right? And then these three matrix. I believe in the question these three matrix values are given, right? So you must have to define them, obviously, A, B, and C. Not given. Not given.
They're not given.
A, B, and C are not given. Let me open the question.
Oh, like for answers?
Yeah, for
Oh, yeah,
answers.
the answers are, yeah.
It's given.
Yeah.
It's given, right?
Yeah, the answers, yeah.
Oh, okay. So now go back. I don't want to open the question then. So this is what you're gonna do. At a times b to the c. So a times b to the power c. And now it looks a little weird, the name, because the way I was saying before, like name should be corresponding to the equation, but it could be anything, whatever you feel like appropriate. Okay. And now this ABC is what important. Okay, these are your inputs, the arguments, and this ZV is not that important at all. You know that, right? This Z is the Z matrix and B is the B, part B. It could be anything. Now let's focus on this A times B to the power C. Okay, how this function looks like. This is the function. The same thing. Just have to start with the function and then, now this Z here, did you see that Z doesn't match with the ZB over there, right? That's what I keep saying. It doesn't matter the output, but it matters how many output you have. That is matter. It matters how many arguments that you have. But the name of those output, name of the argument variable doesn't matter in the user defined function or the main function. So again, we do have ABC here. It could be x, y, z. Doesn't matter. So I have the ABC, and all I did like z equal a multiplied b to the power c. And we're gonna make sure you gotta put a dot because we are dealing with matrix here, right? So you must. I mean, sometimes in asterisk you don't have to put dot, but it's a good practice anytime other than addition and subtraction. If you deal with the matrix like the divide, power, multiplication, every time you want to put a dot. So they've been in such side, okay? And then once you write that, you must want to put a semicolon. Don't want to show everything. Any more question?
Why can't you put parentheses around the A times B? Because that was my issue, for whatever reason. I thought that wouldn't have mattered.
Parentheses.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta put the arguments as a variable. A, B, and C here. Why you wanna put like a different thing?
I was just talking.
I mean, it doesn't matter like A, B, and C.
Yeah.
It could be anything, you know.
Yeah,
Just
so
saying like.
so yeah, this is what I did have, right? I had just parentheses around the A times B. Nothing else has changed. It's all I had.
Yeah, just one second.
And that didn't when I saved the change.
Oh, yeah. You go back. Yeah, you don't want to put a parenthesis. So this dot needs to be before the power. That's the problem.
Ah, I see.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Any more question with the homework and the practice? Should I move on? As I said, I have a very simple and small agenda. Okay.
Let's look at the homework real quick.
Take your time.
Yeah, the first question on the homework.
First question on the home. Let me open the home.
So I could only get one of the subplots to work. But I don't even remember if it's right.
Ooh, that one get corrupted because I had this solution for MATLAB. It can only open in MATLAB, but I can possibly address it individually. The homework gets not corrupted. Corrupted means like try to open it in, okay? The
solution may not get corrected.
But it's still I have it.
What was the question? I forgot the question. Oh, it's the first one. So you have to write a function that will put it at so you gotta do this derivative. So do you have the derivative result? Do you have a pen and paper? I can do the derivative for you. Or did you do the derivative already over there?
I don't know.
And you have to do the derivative. You find the velocity and the acceleration there. The first one. Then did you do the first one? Which one? Homework
This
15?
one?
You want me to show it there?
Which physics one?
What is the function? Is it like 12t square or you want me to do it here? So see as Ethan, you need help?
Wait, why did you?
I'm just kind of watching you guys.
Why did you do the derivative?
Because it says you have to do the velocity and the acceleration as well. So it's just the position. You remember that? So to
Yeah,
get
but-
the velocity and the acceleration.
Isn't the
So that's a
derivative
lot of
just
fun.
tangent?
I can't do derivatives.
Yeah, isn't derivative tangent though? So why would you?
Yeah,
do
it's
that?
just 1 second. So velocity, you remember that equation? I don't know. Do you?
Yeah, distance over time.
Yeah.
Equals
So
one.
yeah, but it's a derivative, right? So you see, Jason, focus on here. So you see, for the derivative x to the power n d by dx, right? Say like y equal to x to the power n, right? So you wanna do dy dx. Is it ring a bell?
A little,
I mean,
yeah.
I know
but
it's
I
all-
literally
but-
this morning just failed test on this.
Yeah. Well.
No,
you-
is no worries. You don't have to do extensive derivative here. So n x to the power n minus 1. Do you remember that? That is the equation, main equation.
N to the n.
N multiplied x to the power n minus 1. Remember that?
Oh, that's like.
That's all it requires, nothing else. That's all. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah.
That's all. Okay, so now I'm saying that with confidence, right? So instead of x, can I use t?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Also, instead of n, you give some value, say like 3. Do you care? No, right? So then, can you write this like similar way like this, Ben? So your 3 is what? N, do you agree?
Your 3 is n.
Yeah, and then your x is t,
So then.
and 3 minus 1. So is it like 2t squared?
Yeah, 2t squared.
You understand that?
Yeah, but
No.
why
No,
do?
so see, this x is t,
Right.
okay?
you
This
remember-
n is 3.
Jason, you remember the power rule?
Yeah.
That's basically what he's doing with the
Yeah.
numbers.
So what I'm doing here, this 3, n came here, right? So I'm moving this 3 here. And what I'm doing,
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
Yeah, you
he's
see?
doing- He's doing the
So
power
now,
rule.
yeah, now 2t squared, you understand that? You understand this?
Yeah.
If you do,
Why are you doing that for this question though?
because it says here, do the velocity and acceleration plot.
So
So velocity is
T2.
this equation. Acceleration is this equation.
Yeah, but isn't it just distance, velocity equals distance over time? Why is it the derivative of?
Velocity equal distance, not distance over time. Yeah, distance over time. Right. But you got to do the derivative because you see this t value is a variable. It can vary anything.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a function. When you have a function, you can just if you are given with a distance value, say like 10, then it is right. 10 divided by whatever time it is, right? But it is not 10. It's a function where with time this value of the s varies.
Yeah, so wouldn't that just give you a graph though?
Yeah, the graph equation is given here, right? I mean,
Yeah.
even if you are given with the graph, then still, say like this s looks like this, right? Where you have this s here and t here in x and y axis, right? So here, to find the velocity, you see, at different point, you got to do tangent. So it would be like this, these are the velocity, you understand?
Oh.
And this tangent, this is the tangent equation, ds over dt. Okay, so now you have this constant 12. You don't care about the constant. All you care about is t squared, right?
Yeah.
This t squared is 2t squared?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
T squared is the.
T squared is what, Jason? Let's see if we can do that. T squared is what, Jason? You have this 2 here, right? 2 minus 1. So 2t? Perfect. So can you write this 2t here? Can you do that? So 6 you don't care. Plus you gotta keep adding that. Right? You're doing derivative on every term.
Yeah.
This term, this term, this term, this term, right? So then 6 you don't care, right? So this t square again is, was it t square?
You get,
Yeah.
Or it's t cube?
you get
It's t
two
cube,
times
it's
six.
t cube.
Yeah.
So if it's t cube, then it is what?
Makes more sense, huh?
It's
3 t square, right?
yeah, 3 times square.
And then it's t square, which is 2t. You just said that, right? 2t,
1.
then this is 1, and this is 0. Can you do that? Do another time this derivative. Whatever answer you will have, you do derivative
So
one
it's
more
gonna
time.
be like 36 t squared.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
So t square plus 12t plus 1.
Yeah.
Now that's your v, right?
Yeah.
Now to find the a, this is your equation now. Can you do the derivative again? So
Yeah.
36 d by dt t square. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so
Right,
now
12.
it's like a double derivative or whatever.
Yeah,
because it's
and this is
squared.
0, right?
Oh, we're
Do
gonna do
that?
it again?
Yeah, because you have the acceleration. Acceleration equal to derivative of velocity with respect to time t. That's acceleration equation.
Yeah.
Remember that? The velocity is the.
I just don't get why you would.
Hmm. Take your time. We do have time. It's a very close class.
I feel like I didn't even know I needed to do a derivative of this to begin with.
Yeah, it's from physics. I mean, probably took physics long ago, right?
Yeah, but how did
I've
how
never
did you
taken
realize that
physics
you
ever.
had?
You didn't take physics?
Never.
Oh, you had to. I mean, you are in
That's
you are in 4
not
years
true.
program.
Two.
Next, 2 years program.
Yeah.
Does the 2 years mechanical?
Electrical.
Does the 2 years electrical requires physics?
Yeah, next semester.
When are we gonna take physics? You gotta go through everything before I'm showing you. Okay.
So how do you know that you had to take the derivative though?
Because there's an
Because-
equation for
because-
acceleration of the velocity.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you did, and I understand the math behind it. I just wasn't sure why, like why you did it. That's why.
Yeah, because that's the equation for velocity and
Yeah.
acceleration. Now I was saying, like, in exam you did see, like, I didn't give you to do any derivative or anything
Yeah.
like, and that's the purpose of this class. It's not like a physics class. It's not a math class also. Kind of technically a little bit math you gotta do.
Yeah, so if
but it's a programming should deal with that. But this is the homework. That's why I have this kind of thing.
So if if any answer is going to vary on a graph, then you have to do the derivative of it. Like if, like you said, how t could be more than one answer. It's going to vary dependent on.
Yeah, t could. T is a universal thing, right? So
Yeah.
you're not gonna. The t is obviously varying. T is the time. Time
Yeah.
is always constantly moving, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the time value, all those values are gonna vary, like the s, b, or a, like the
Yeah.
position. And that's what they're saying. Like draw this t versus a. Okay, sorry. A versus t, v versus t, s versus t. And what the t values they gave you here, like 0 to 10. So for 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Based on this equation, how the car will gonna look like. That's what it is.
Well, I guess like what I'm asking is, how do you know the derivative of s is
B.
yeah v?
And that's the equation.
Like why not something else? You know what I mean?
No, that's the equation. I mean, I can give you more physics background here. See, like the velocity is always change of time, sorry, change of position with respect to time. That makes sense?
Okay, so
That's the velocity, the definition.
so the derivative of position is velocity,
Derivative of the position is the velocity, exactly.
and then the derivative of velocity is acceleration.
It's the acceleration.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Okay. Any more question?
At least based on something.
Yeah, it based on something. And it's as I said, like in homeworks, I oftentimes have this kind of thing, like where you got to dig through a little bit and figure it out and expecting. I really expect at this time you already had physics or some background, right? These are from physics.
I've
Okay.
never taken physics ever.
Yeah, okay, so
My high
anyways-
school didn't even offer physics.
Where'd you go again?
I went to St. Lawrence. They just didn't offer physics.
Well, where's St. Lawrence?
Like 40 minutes from here.
Where am I?
Close, east, 40 minutes east of here. We know where Coruscant is.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes south and 2 minutes.
It's not that difficult, right, to deal with this kind of thing. I mean, it just needs some practice, right? So you didn't have the physics, that's why you never did that.
I mean, like, the only reason I kind of know what's going on is because we're doing derivatives right now in calculus.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Ideally,
just failed that test, so.
I mean, it's not a fault. You don't have the background. I mean, it's like you just have to take some more courses before you take that class. You're in Calc 1 now?
Yeah.
You took pre-calc? When?
Yeah, like probably 9, 10 years ago.
That's a good reason. And for the physics as
But
well.
like the calculus stuff is like pre-calc, and I'm like remembering a lot of that, so like
So,
that makes sense.
Jason,
But
remember one thing. When you're taking courses next semester, you talk with your advisor. I don't want to advise you. That's against my rule. I don't want to do that. But just to give you a suggestion here. If you never took a physics in your life, don't try to take physics 1 in college physics. You shouldn't even take it. You should take basic, there's, I forgot the course name, basic physics or something?
Yeah, something like intro physics or
Intro to
basic
physics, they have the course here, I believe,
Yeah.
as
I know,
well.
I know someone who took it.
Yeah. My strong recommendation, if you're gonna take physics 1, you may be struggling. Maybe what happened in Calc 1, I wish that don't happen with you. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what physics you have to take next semester? Is it college physics or university physics? College is easier. University is harder.
that's kind of what I was thinking. I didn't know what
Yes,
that was based on.
that
but
is
I'm like,
correct.
That sounds
It is.
right.
They're very similar. The coursework is like college physics is here. If like this is the beginning of the semester, this is the end. University physics is like here. They're really, really close, and they do a lot of the same stuff. But one is going to advance a little further. Yeah, I agree with them. I would at least look at and talk to your advisor about doing, just like the intro physics or the basic physics, so you understand what you're getting into. Because it's all taught by there's 2 teachers. It's taught by
All right, so everyone, please open this file. So go to Brightspace, open this class lectures, okay, and open this grade Excel file, okay. Everyone do that. Open this grade Excel file. We'll be needing them. See where my mouse is? Exactly where my mouse is. Go to the class lecture under the Brightspace, and then open is like downloading, and download it to the place where you'd be saving the .m file for today's class. Okay. Then it's saved.
Right here.
Where's that? All right. Now I'm gonna go back
to the PC. All right, so this is what I was saying. Go to table of content, and then go to class lectures, go to the grades, download. It get download for my case. Enable editing. Not now. Okay, I gotta save it to the location where my .m file that I will be working here today. I will be working, so user Roman K. I think this is where I saved everything. So just I'd like to keep it here. Okay, save it here. Alright, now it is done. Now I'm gonna open the Octave. Alright, I'm gonna open a new edit file, and I'm gonna put a title for today's class. So the title is let me open my notes next to me. Just 1 second. So the title obviously is week 7 lecture 2. All right, and then would be still dealing with Excel, okay, and if possible data types, okay, and title description could be user defined inputs and output in Octave. All right, and then this is what is so important. In order to run this, you gotta I'd like to put it, you gotta run this thing called in the command window, okay. I'm putting it under this double inverted comma, package load IO. You gotta copy that package load IO without this inverted comma to the command window. I'll show it to you shortly, and then run it before you run to this program. So in the command window, right, and then starting with the main code. So you obviously have CLC, clear, close all, right? And then let me, you guys remember the input function that we had last time? Everyone remember the input function, fprintf function? Okay, so I'm gonna start from wherever, display function, those 3 things that we learned in last time. So I'm gonna start with other types of, that's today's work. So other types of output options. So what are those? So what are those? So first, text on figures. You have done the figures all the time, right? So how to put a text on the figures? So there is this function called text, and then you wanna locate the coordinate, which may be like 5, 300, okay, x and y direction coordinate, or you can say 5 minus 300, okay. Okay, and before we do any of these things, we need the plot, but for the plot, we'll just go to the plot shortly after this. We had the plot last time, so you may open the code for last time, but let's finish this, okay. So I was just saying, like, you know, this thing, and you'd like to put the text on the figure, say like this equation D equal minus 0.5 multiplied G multiplied T square, right? So this 5 is the x coordinate, and minus 300 is the y coordinate, where the text will go. Now you might be wondering where the text is going on the figure, right? So that figure, I did define it last class. Let me do it again. So analysis, you might have it already, so you can copy it from last class. Remember the T matrix 0 to 10 with interval of 0.1. Okay, now I won't be defining individual values as the input. Remember last time we had those inputs. You guys remember that, right? We had the inputs like 0 and 10, like it was asking you using the input function. You said, oh, what is the TF value, what is the T initial value? Does it ring a bell? Last week it happened at some point. Okay, assuming I'm not doing it that, I'm not going on that route again, input function. I'm just giving you the T matrix. All right, and then I'm gonna give you the d function. So d is equal, which is minus 0.5 multiplied, instead of g, I had the g defined last time. I'm giving you the value directly, 9.81, right? So 9.81 multiplied by t square, right? This square, because t is a matrix, you gotta put a dot. You must wanna put a dot. So the units, the bare minimum, I'm gonna put the unit, okay? So this is s or second, right? And this is the meter. Okay, and then you wanna do the plot, TD, and then you can modify the plot whatever way you want, and you wanna do the x level is time. You may want to put a space after this time, and the y level so you want to put a distance fallen. All right, so let me save it to this location. So this is like week 7 still, lecture 2. Okay, and then you want to run it. So that's what I was talking. Okay, so this text function, what the text function can do? Text function can write a question just like the way it is. Okay. So distance fallen text. It's ready for you?
Well, my computer's having issues, so,
Okay.
but I know that is that, so.
That is
okay.
that. Okay. Perfect. It's running for you, Ben? It's perfect. Ben, I forgot to put a semicolon. That's why you have so many results to show up. All right, guys. So moving on. So after this text function,
So we
what
don't
if?
have to write figure 1.
Huh?
So we don't have to actually put figure 1 in the code, it'll just do it for us.
No, you don't. I mean, you don't. I mean, figure 1. You know the reason they put the figure 1 because you might have multiple figures. So like if you don't, you don't use a figure function. You don't use a figure function. Say like figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4. You have just one figure. Every time you have the figure plot option, it will gonna draw, and second time you have a plot option without any new figure title, it will gonna update the new one at the top of this. Okay, so that's why you want to do figure 1, figure 2, figure 3. Now this is the thing. I mean, this is text function. Obviously, you understand. If you like to put something on the figure in the text. Now, what if there's another function called gtext? What if you'd like to click somewhere on the figure and then the equation will going to show up? So that's called gtext. Okay, Ben? So gtext is like, if you write the gtext function, you have the figure shown to you, and you click somewhere on the figure, the text will going to show up. So that's the gtext function. That's what we'll be doing next. Gtext. Okay. So let's do that. So this gtext is so gtext. In the gtext, you'd be putting. You don't want to put the coordinates on the gtext, right? 5 and minus 300. That was the coordinate before. You'd rather want to put the equation directly, which by the way, I'm gonna just copy it. I don't want to type the same thing again. All right. So here's the thing. You see, previously on the text, you had to define the coordinate. Now you may not know the coordinate, right? That could be an issue. 5 minus 300. How do you know? That is the point inside the figure. That could be outside the figure somewhere, right? So yeah, that's the reason you would like to use the gtext. And then obviously let me put some comments behind it. So this gtext is click on the plot to locate the bottom left corner of the text itself, right? Nothing else, of the text being added. So that's the gtext. Then we'll be doing another one before I jump into other things. X comma y. So what is this thing doing? First of all, x comma y are these two variables that you're defining in a matrix. You'd like to define a matrix x comma y, or x space y. Okay, it doesn't matter. So two values here. Okay, what you wanna do? You'd like to get some input. Okay, what input? G input. What G input do? So this G input, yep, this G input, it will gonna use this command to extract data from a plot, sort of. So click on the locations where you want the coordinate. Please enter, and Octave will display a matrix of x and y values in the command window. Okay, so believe me, that's it before I start with the Excel. So I do have the Excel thing. That's the final thing, which I'm gonna talk about it shortly. But so far we are still dealing with the text function, gtext function, okay, and the gtext to get a coordinate value, okay, from a plot. So why don't you run it and see what happens? Click on the figure, someone on the other figure. Let me see. Okay, down. Now go to the command window. Command window. You see the coordinates? Remember, Jason, you click twice, right? For the first click, you had that thing. For the second click, you have the coordinate x and y values. And this case, maybe you don't want like this text function active because you already have it by gtext, right? Click again. Click again. Click again. Nothing happened.
I only have on the first one. It's only happened once for me.
You remember? I mean, it did work before.
When I
Huh? What happened, man?
I click it once, but that's it.
But I just saw, okay, you gotta click again and then enter. Close it. Close this. Yeah, see?
Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah, you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Good, Jason. It's not display. Okay, is it like minimized somewhere? Okay, let me see. Yeah, this figure is here, right? Alright, so now you wanna close this, right? Close it. You run it 7 times. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. So many times you click. You get frustrated with that, right? And then command. You have to press enter to get the value. Okay? So 2 times 7 click. One time for the D equation, another time for the coordinate gtext. And then come here to command and press enter. Then it will be display. And then also close the figure. Okay, so then moving on. The final thing, that's the final topics, okay? I promise. So that's the final thing that we are doing today, which is reading and writing text file from Excel, right? Reading and writing. Okay, so let's do that here. As I would say, like one of the most important thing that what you're doing here. So everybody, please pay attention. This is one of the most important thing, because you got to deal with the Excel where thousands or millions or billions of data could be there, right? As an example, like, you know, if not thousands, like hundreds of data is there. You'd like to manipulate those data from Excel file. All right, so let's start with that. So first thing first, you see here, what did I say? Package load IO. So everybody copy that pkg load IO, paste it to command window, right? And press enter.
That's an IO.
Yeah, IO. Okay, and you must have to do that before running this, otherwise it will not going to work. I did test it at home. This Octave is acting weird all the time, you know. I don't know if it's not if it will not going to run here in this school computer. I don't know. In my personal laptop it ran before. All right, so let's move on. You did that, everybody? pkg space load space IO, press enter in the command window. Okay, so then let's start with our main thing. Okay, so reading, let me put the title. So reading from and writing to text files and or Excel. Now why I said and or Excel? Because it could be CSV file as well. Now here's one thing I found issue with Octave. In MATLAB it can run XLS file, XLSX file, but in Octave it only runs XLSX file. Okay, or the modern version of that. You remember 97 to 2003, there is this version XLS, right? And then, you know, iOS system or a Apple system, any Apple iOS, they call iOS, right? Any iOS system, not the Android. Any iOS system use this 97 to 2003, that version doesn't work here. Okay, with this Octave, MATLAB works with everything, because MATLAB you're paying money, right? This is free. You have to understand. All right. So this one here, maybe it works. I just have to download probably something different, right? At least what I have, this package load IO doesn't work. Okay, package load IO work for only XLSX file. Did you ever notice like Excel file extension? Usually it is, if you are using the Android system or the modern version, the latest version, it will gonna always generate XLSX. You understand? So that's the extension. Anyway, the great file that you downloaded, it is XLX file. Okay, you got it? So you're good. I'm just giving you what are the different situations here, or the background info. Okay. All right. So reading and writing from the Excel. Okay, moving on. So read in an Excel file, right? Remember that the file must be in the same folder. Oh, that's another thing. In the same folder, just like user defined function, right? As the script, the main code. Trying to read it. Okay, that's so obvious, right? It needs to be in the same place. Okay, let's start with a variable called data, and it could be again anything. I'm just writing data. XLS read, and XLS read is the function, by the way. Okay, and then you'd like to put this grades dot XLSX. Okay, how did I come up with this? You see, remember I let you download it from the Brightspace. At the class lecture, you had a grade XLS file or the grade Excel file, right? Everybody downloaded it. Everybody put it in the same folder where your main code is. If that's the case, you are good. And again, what we are doing here, this XLS read, that's the function that we are using. to read the data from the grade Excel file. Is it clear to everyone? When you got it? All right, moving on. All right, so data is done, and let me put lot of text as a notes. So you wanna enter the name just as it shows up in the current folder window in Octave. Okay. Excel saves as .xlsx, so make sure to give it the correct file extension. Correct file extension, it gets added automatically. Is good so far? Extract the information from the data matrix. So now what you're doing now, I already started writing. My job now is to export the data from the Excel file, right? Now you might have opened the Excel file already. You have seen several columns over there, right? The grades, like the homework 1 grades, homework 2 grades, something like that, right? Or test 1 grade, test 2 grades. So you would like to pull up this data now here, and I'll be using. You already opened this by using this XLS open, right? Or XLS read. Now you would be using this data variable, right? Remember, what is this data again? This data is a matrix, right? You understand that, right? What does that matrix contain? Whatever your Excel file has. Okay? You can run it now before you even write anything. You can run it now. You should be seeing a data in the you should be seeing a data in the variable window, right? And the workspace. You see the data, or you use D, right? Or you use data. What happened here?
An error.
Okay,
So
does
it's
the Excel file is in
file.
the same location where our output registers 5 is? Octave register. So it's in desktop, right? So yeah, your folder here is not desktop, it's Octave register. Yeah, that's what is happening. Yeah, this needs to be. It's working now, right? Okay. So yeah, the problem is, see, it's working for him. The problem is probably the place where you saved it is not the same place where the .env file. If that is not the problem, the other problem could be the current directory. No, just one second. Let me different. I have a problem. I can't see anything too close, right? I can see it like with bright light. But if it's far, I can see with my glass. So I have to get the glass. It is like only +1. Okay, that's why I kind of lazy. I have time this week. I can get some glass. Right, so both of them are in desktop. Okay, so why do I see when I
Class 1, you know why this class 1 came?
I downloaded it before.
Yeah. Save it and get this one. Did you get the package thing? Package. Package. What is it? Package load IO, right? What? Now we have it. Ah, that is, you got it?
Nah, no, I don't think. I don't know what's going on.
That's alright. This is one of the most complicated things. And most important thing. Okay, Jason, you wanna try it? You know what happened? The problem, the root cause is the location. Okay? It is the most important.
Like mine, they're in the same thing.
What?
They're right here and this one.
That's the problem. Go. These are grades, right? You have it named, it's downloaded twice. That's the problem.
No.
I think I'm like, we're trying to see if we
Alright,
can finish up
very
the
good.
homework stuff.
grades is here. I'm not seeing a grades.
OneDrive.
That's the problem. It needs to be in the same place.
It is there.
Okay, in that case, no, I think OneDrive. It needs to be here. See, this is the place. This is the place.
Why?
You see, this is the link, the directory. Correct?
Yeah, but that's not where my included.
Oh,
not
that's not the main file either.
No.
Can you move both of them over there?
Uh,
Yeah, so.
they're both in. They're both in a folder.
And the folder. Yeah, you can. It's the two way the solution could be. You can find that folder. What is the folder? Is this
It's
here?
that folder, but it's not going to show up in there because you're trying to open it, and it's not going to let you open an Excel.
Okay, let me.
So if you go down here, this
Here?
one, no, this guy.
Okay.
Here, see grades, and then if you scroll down, and then week 7, lecture 2 is right
Lecture
here.
2 here.
They're in the same folder.
Okay, so we're gonna figure it out what is happening. For now, let's just copy that and put it to some place. Okay, just doing it for temporary. Okay, say like put it in desktop, right? Let's see first whether this is working. Okay. Desktop here. So why is not changing?
Oh wait, go click on that. Yeah, we just had that pull down. No, pull down. Right there. Go to the bottom. Down. The bottom. Yeah. Now try it. Because that's where they both are. They're in that EMGS folder.
Yeah, but for some reason it's nothing. Where's not there? Desktop. No, it's where it is again?
There, yeah.
Here, right?
Both of them.
Both of them, okay. And the other one is
Week 7.
Check this out. And then which one is it? This
Yeah.
one? Alright. So then, yeah, so this is the folder, right? Certified location, all this, right? And then which one? This one?
Yeah. Oh, you hit cancel. Yeah.
Did it open?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so now you just try to do this, right? Did you run this package? Load IO?
I mean, I did, but you restarted, so.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah. You have the data now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are almost done. I'm sorry. We wanted to finish it in 10 minutes to see what happened. It's more than an hour. 1 hour and 50 minutes, 1 hour and 30 minutes gone.
It's all right. We do have the whole class time to deal with this. Did I left my class somewhere? Okay. So extracting the info, right, from the data. You all seen the data, right, in the command window already? Okay, so now let's extract it. Now we're going to define some variable, right? So like there are different columns, and every column needs to be assigned to a variable. Okay, that's what we're doing. So let's start with this assignment number. Okay, there's the first column, and you'd like to define it. So remember, the data is the matrix, and if you'd like to define, say like the first column data. That's remember 1 2 3 4 5 6. That's the number, index number. So then anybody remember how you don't do that? Like colon comma 1. Everyone remember that for matrix? That's what you're going to do. All right, and then you may want to put a semicolon or not, doesn't matter really. So it is what doing based on that it will gonna get displayed in command window. Rows of column 1, right? And then you want to do like this homework grades, right? Homework grades is data, and then you want to do column 2. Don't want to display it. And then say like test grades, that's in your column 3, right? So equal data, so that colon comma 3. Okay. So once you have those, now you'd like to see doing an average, right? Determine the final grade, and you have an equation to do the final grades, right? How gonna do that? Say like this is your average, a variable that you're defining, and then you have this mean of homework grade, right? So homework grades, you want to press enter, don't want to type the whole variable, right? If you press enter, then the variable name will going to come exactly the way you typed, and it's like it's 80% point from the homework grade, right? 0.08 multiplying it plus and I'm just doing some function again, which is the mean function, okay, with some equation, completely random, doesn't have to do anything, okay. So mean function, right? And then the test grade. Oh, I did a mistake here. It should be test, not text. So test. So test grade, right? And then you'd like to get like 20% point from the test and 80% from the homework, and this will gonna give you the average final grade, okay. So now you say like you want to write Excel files, so write, so to write to an Excel file, use there is this function called XLS write. So XLS read is to get the value, XLS write to create Excel value, okay. And then say like trajectory is the Excel file, but the syntax of this is, let me give you the syntax. XLS write, then the file name, whatever file name, XLSX, okay, comma the variable, okay. So then you want to define a matrix, say like so make some data that we can write to Excel, okay. When I'm creating a data, and when I'm creating a data, remember I have this T and D matrix, right? So let's define a trajectory, and again this variable name could be anything, whatever you can think of. And then remember this transposing matrix, right? Everybody remember this? T and D, we're transposing. What is T and D? T is the time matrix. Remember, it starts from 0 to 10 with the interval of 0.1, and this is the distance, right? That distance that we calculated with the equation minus 0.5 t square. Okay, so now trajectory matrix, we're gonna have this time and this distance, okay, and then you are transposing it. Initially, it usually comes like is a when you have a trajectory matrix, usually comes is like a number of columns, right? You're gonna make it to number of rows, okay? So again, number of rows, okay? So that's your trajectory, okay? And then you wanna write it in Excel file, okay? So write that. And it doesn't need to be what I had it here. It could be any matrix that you want to write. I mean, just creating a matrix, okay? Don't think like this is absolute thing. So you want to write the data to Excel file, and then this is the command XLS write, okay? And then you want to name the file name, say like trajectory dot XLSX, okay? And then this trajectory after comma, this trajectory variable that you defined before, right? Okay, and you want to save it, and when you're going to run it, you should have Excel file named as trajectory, okay? And you should be getting all the time and the distance values in that Excel file, okay? And then go to that folder where your .m file is. And if you are seeing a trajectory Excel file, open it up. You see you have these two columns, right? First column is for time and the second column is for distance. Okay, and now I know you have the thing here, but go to that folder and see if there is an Excel file created for you named trajectory. The folder where your original files are. So when it help you, go to the folder. No, not here, not here. Actual folder. You see, the trajectory came up. So open it up. See, something interesting happened. See, you just created an Excel file. You read data from Excel file and you created an Excel file. How beautiful it is. It's so important. I mean, this is probably one of the most important things. We're going to use it all the time. Okay, is it not creating for you? Yeah. There is an issue. Just maybe the name mismatch. Test bed. Yeah. Enter, press enter. Okay. And the thing that you had, you have to delete it. Sorry. Yeah, those things. Save it. And you know what happened here. So you want to put a semicolon here. Save it, run it. Now you go to the folder. See it, open it. See? Perfect. That's it. That's it today. I wanted to finish the class 30 minutes. It is 1 hour and 35 minutes. But you had the time 1 hour 50 minutes anyway. So we had, I guess, like the better use of time today, okay? Or everything that we addressed. Any question? And that's it. Have a good break. I'll see you again in.
So is that homework 6? Is that due to Wednesday over break or due to Wednesday when you get back?
You can put it Wednesday when you get back.
Okay.
It's fine. But the homework 5, I want it.
Yeah, homework 5.
When did I say homework 5 is due?
This Friday.
This Friday? Yeah, finish it by Friday then.
When did you say, 6?
When we come back.
When you come back?
We come back Wednesday.
Yeah, that way during the break you don't have to worry about the class.
Yeah, I thought you said that week, and I was a little.
No, I said
that works.
yeah, I don't want you to work during the break. Just go enjoy. Get charged up, come back again. You guys upload the .m file, right? 2 .m files for the exams? Yes, for the exams, all of you? I didn't check it. Okay. I'll try to grade it before Friday, so I don't have to worry about this course again during the break also.
I submitted some files for homework 5 and practice 5 already.
Uh,
You should be able to just submit on top of that.
Yeah, I'm they're
Yeah, on top of
gonna
that, I'll
use
have
things.
yeah multiple things. It's all right. I'll check all of it.
If they're any bigger, you'll be able to see the file size. Because you said you only answered one question for
Right,
like
yeah.
the homework.